This is so funny because I don't know if you heard this rumor, but there was this rumor going around that Doug Christie was suing Chris Webber for $4.6 million because of the paternity of Jackie Christie and Doug Christie's child. So that was the rumor, that Chris Webber was really the father.
No one in the courtroom was ready for what Chris Webber brought with him. People thought it would be a regular legal battle full of back-and-forth arguments and drawn-out statements. But what happened that day changed everything. Jackie Christie, her husband Doe, and their daughter Chantel walked into court thinking they could control the story. Instead, they were hit with a truth that left them stunned. The moment Chris walked into that courtroom, you could feel the energy shift.
And this is crazy to come up at this big age of this child. She's in her 30s.
And so this rumor was so rampant that my girl Keys was at my house and she was like, did you hear that Doug Christie and I was like, wait, I don't know about, because anyway, Chris Webber, who normally would not address such a thing, went on social media and said this.
That's why I'm going to give this friendly reminder to some of my friends out there that you can't believe everything you read, see, or hear on the internet. Especially when they're all lies. No proof, just made up lies. So I'm gonna take this opportunity to issue my one and only advisory. If you have a platform and you have content with my name attached to lies, take it down now.
He wasn't loud. He wasn't trying to make a scene. But the small envelope he carried under his arm held more weight than anyone expected. With each step, the air got heavier. Chris wasn't there to argue. He was there to tell the truth finally. For years, Jackie Christie fought to silence whispers that someone else, someone other than Doe, was Chantel's real father. Jackie always shut the rumors down, insisting Doe was the dad. End of story. She called the gossip cruel and said it was meant to break up her family. Chris Webber's name kept popping up in conversations.
And to those that started the rumor, that started the lies and then continued to spread the lies, I dare you not to take it down. I dare you to repeat a lie. You're not going to defame my name. Of course the lawyers are in action. Of course the lawyers are in motion and are motivated.
He wasn't just a random name. He had been close to Jackie when she first moved to Los Angeles. They were seen at events together, mingling in the same social circles. Jackie always brushed it off, saying Chris was just part of the past, and that people were reaching. Jackie stood firm in public. She acted like a loving wife, a strong mom, and a woman with nothing to hide. But behind the scenes, cracks were forming. Chantel wasn't a little girl anymore. She had questions. She wanted real answers, not just emotional outbursts or cold silence. Jackie either got defensive or completely shut down whenever Chantel brought up her paternity. Doe didn't help much. He stayed quiet most of the time.
My brother from the Fab Five, Chris Webber, name is in the news now. And Chris Webber has a video out now where a lot of stuff he's not happy about. And I want to say to the brother Chris Webber, man, do you know once your name is out there, all of these people who do these, especially the AI videos.
And that silence made people wonder, did he know something he wasn't sharing? Things took a serious turn when Chantel asked for proof. She didn't want rumors. She wanted hard evidence. So she got lawyers involved. That's when Jackie's world started shaking. She realized the image she'd protected for so long could finally be destroyed. But the moment that changed everything was when Chris stood in front of the judge, holding the envelope like it contained a piece of his soul.
Trust me, but brother Chris, man, they gonna come up with, they gonna lie about this, they gonna lie about that. It's part of this world called the internet. You really can't believe everything you see on the internet that they say about people, but what the fuck is true?
The courtroom went still. Chris looked at the judge and said calmly, "This envelope holds the truth we've all avoided for 20 years. No yelling, no finger pointing, just a man who seemed exhausted by all the lies. Inside the envelope was a DNA test. The results were clear. Chris Webber had a 99.7% chance of being Chantal's biological father. That wasn't all. There were hotel receipts showing that Jackie and Chris had stayed together at several places during the exact time frame Chantal would have been conceived. Their names were printed clearly on the forms."
But that's that. If anyone else that wants some insight and a story or some tools of how to get through the distractions, how to stay focused during the bull, go get my book.
But it didn't stop there. There were also handwritten letters from Jackie to Chris. They weren't short or vague. These were long, emotional messages. One of them read, "You'll always be a part of my heart, no matter what happens." There were voicemails too. In one, Jackie could be heard saying, "I just can't tell Doe. You know what this would do to my family." You could hear a pin drop. Jackie's face froze. Doe looked down, visibly shaken. Chantal held her coat tightly and tried not to cry. Chris looked at all of them, Jackie, Doe, Chantal, the judge, and read another letter out loud. This one had a line that hit like a thunderclap. "I'll say it's because of Doe's strong genes. Please don't ruin me, Chris." Doe's body jerked like he'd been hit. He had raised Chantal, loved her, protected her. And now he was hearing, in Jackie's own handwriting, that she might have known all along he wasn't the father. His knees gave out, and he collapsed right there in court. Court officers rushed to help him. Jackie just stood there, unable to say a word. Chantal grabbed her purse and ran out, covering her mouth to hold back sobs. Jackie tried to speak, her voice shaking. "Your Honor, this isn't what it looks like," but the judge interrupted her. "Mrs. Christie, please sit down. You are out of order." There was no way to spin this. This wasn't a reality show, reunion, or a social media post. It was real life, and it was falling apart. Just when it seemed like it couldn't get worse, the courtroom doors opened again. Everyone turned. It was Chantal. Her face was red, makeup smeared, but her walk had purpose. She didn't look at her mom. She didn't glance at Chris. She walked straight to the judge and handed him a flash drive. "What is this, Miss Christie?" the judge asked. "It's something I found in her old storage boxes last year," Chantal said quietly. "I didn't know what it was back then, but now I do." The judge called for a short break. When court resumed, the video was played. It was a voicemail from Jackie to Chris. Her voice was sharp and filled with rage. "I swear to God, I will kill you if you tell anyone. Don't ruin what I've built." Things took a serious turn when Chantal asked for proof. She didn't want rumors. She wanted hard evidence. So, she got lawyers involved. That's when Jackie's world started shaking. She realized the image she'd protected for so long could finally be destroyed. But the moment that changed everything was when Chris stood in front of the judge, holding the envelope like it contained a piece of his soul. The courtroom went still. Chris looked at the judge and said calmly, "This envelope holds the truth we've all avoided for 20 years." No yelling, no finger pointing, just a man who seemed exhausted by all the lies. The room was quiet, but not for long. Doe stood up, breathing heavily. He looked at Jackie, and in a voice that broke hearts, he asked, "To cover a lie you were going to accuse him of assault?" Jackie kept her head down. She had no words left. The courtroom felt like a graveyard of broken trust. Chantal wiped her tears. Her world wasn't just turned upside down. It had shattered. The room was already heavy with emotion. But Doe wasn't done. He stood before the judge and said clearly, "I'm filing to have my name removed from Chantal's birth certificate." Jackie screamed, "You can't do that! You raised her. She's yours." Doe didn't shout back. He just said, "I lived a lie." Those words were more painful than any scream. They hit Jackie like a storm she couldn't outrun. Chantal spoke next, her voice trembling. All I ever wanted was the truth. This wasn't about one DNA test anymore. It was about years of secrets, lies, and a woman who tried too hard to hold everything together by keeping everyone in the dark. Doe walked out of the courtroom without looking back. Jackie stood frozen in place. Her family had just walked away, one by one. Just when Jackie thought she had hit rock bottom, things got worse. Later that day, VH1 released a public statement. Jackie Christie was suspended from Basketball Wives indefinitely. The network said they were reviewing legal matters and considering the ethical weight of what had come out in court. The light that once made Jackie a reality TV star was now burning everything around her. Not long after, Chris's legal team confirmed he would be taking Jackie to civil court. He was suing her for emotional damage, harassment, and trying to damage his character behind the scenes. He also planned to seek retroactive child support. He had lived with the weight of a secret he wasn't allowed to tell. And now, he wanted justice for the years he was kept out of his daughter's life. Jackie tried to spin the story, saying Chris was just angry. But this time, nobody was listening. Things took an even darker turn when federal agents got involved. That threatening voicemail became evidence in an open investigation. Jackie's nonprofit organization, once praised for its charity work, was now under fire for possible misuse of donations and false tax records. Jackie's world was collapsing, piece by piece. People online didn't hold back. Jackie always acted like her life was perfect. Now it's crashing down fast, one person tweeted. Another wrote, Doe deserves peace. Chantal too. Jackie turned everyone's life into a show. Chris didn't speak to reporters. He left the courthouse with his hands in his pockets, head down, walking away from the storm. Doe filed to end all emotional and financial ties to Jackie. He was done. Chantal, meanwhile, looked lost. She wasn't just dealing with new facts. She was questioning her identity, her childhood, everything. Jackie? She had nothing left. No husband. No daughter. No show. No fans. All the lies she built her image on had finally caught up with her. Chris Webber came looking for answers. Instead, he exposed the ruins of a life built on secrets. There's no more hiding. No more spin. Just the raw truth. What do you think about this shocking courtroom drama? Was Chris right to come forward? Should Doe walk away completely? And can Chantal ever forgive her mother? Leave your thoughts in the comments and stay tuned for more updates.